Hey there! Welcome to my Chevy Bolt review. I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of experience reviewing cars, so I'm just going to go over the pros and the cons, just like I do with my board game reviews. I've been wanting to do this for about a year now, and I'm glad I kind of waited because now we've had a whole year and a half, almost 2 years, to experience driving an electric car. So first of all, introductions. My name's Jona. If you're new to my channel, I am a board game reviewer, but I am also someone who really cares about the environment. My husband and I try very hard to reduce the environmental impacts that our household creates. When we moved to our new house 2 years ago, we put solar panels on the roof. So that was a super exciting thing. That was like a life goal, and we had extra money from our old house, so we used that. That was the first step that we took, and then shortly after that, we started seeing electric cars on the market that were used, and actually in our price range. We sold the old family car. He swapped cars with me and he bought this Chevy Bolt. It's a 2018 car. We bought this car used and we spent $18,000 on it. Part of the reason we felt it was the right choice for us and the right time was because we got the solar panels on. A lot of the energy that our solar panels produce go right into powering our electric car, and it saves us well over $100 a month in gas cost. So that is one of the huge things that is a benefit. So I'm just going to go over the things I like about this car. I took notes from my husband and what he appreciates, so I'm going to go over all of that. I'm also going to share the cons. So number one, it's 100% electric. It's not a single drop of gas goes into it. There's absolutely nothing gas about this car. We like that it is very quick. There's really no like gearing up at all. It is just powered to go, and it will go the speed you want it to go. So it is just very, very quick and fun to drive. It has no smell. There's no exhaust. So you can actually warm your car up in the garage and you're not going to suffer from any fumes. That's just a really nice benefit that we didn't really consider until we started using it and living with it. And we found that, yeah, you can turn your car on with the garage doors closed, get it all warmed up before you go. It's very quiet. Now this is both a positive and a con because it's pleasant. You can just hear, the wheels under you rolling on the road, and you can just listen to music. It's just a very peaceful experience. However, it does make me nervous when we're driving through neighborhoods where there's a lot of people walking around, because we have seen the surprised faces on people as we come up, and we've surprised them because they didn't hear us coming. So there is a little bit of a safety risk to be aware of when you're driving with this car, because we are so trained to listen for traffic, and this car doesn't have that same sound. On. The alarm is super loud, and there's nothing we can really do about it that we figured. We can't turn it down or anything. It's just part of the alarm system because the engine's so quiet. They make the alarm extra loud, I think, so that you're really aware that the car is actually on. A couple things that I really love about this car is that it's spacious and comfortable. We actually found that it's very spacious having 2 children with car seats. We only recently got to downsize to the boosters because our youngest one is now big enough to be in a booster. So we feel like the car's even bigger now. But we have plenty of space with the kids' car seats, and it just is very open and airy in here. It feels very spacious. My husband's very tall and he has plenty of leg space in this car, and that's often a problem with most cars for him, especially in the back seat. But even the back seat, he's quite comfortable. I think part of the reason it is so spacious is because there's no engine in the front, and it frees up a lot of interior space because the battery is actually on the bottom of the car, and it makes the car feel very spacious, which is super nice. This is really cool for reverse. It automatically shows you your camera in the back and then also a bird's eye view of the entire car. This has been very helpful, but I did manage to break the rear view mirror within the first year that we bought it because I'm just very accident prone. Another thing that I like is that when the car is locked, I can just have my key in my pocket and it will let me get into the door because it senses that the key fob is nearby. So I'm gonna put this in my pocket and the door is locked, but because I have it near me, I can get in. Let's talk about charging. So it takes 2 days for our battery to go from empty to full. Now we have a slow charging cord. We didn't get any new installations. You can install a fast charging station right into your garage and then it would charge overnight. It would take 8 hours to go from empty to full. For us, we find that we don't really need it because my husband and I both work from home. My husband is a real estate agent though, so sometimes he is showing houses and driving all over the place. He's never gotten stranded. We've actually done some family trips with this car. We were a little apprehensive, but we wanted to see how it would go. We went to Knoebels, which takes about 2 hours to get to. We got up there, didn't even need to charge, and we did find that there were charging stations if we had needed to. Another long trip that we took was to Longwood Gardens, which is in the other direction, and that took us, that's like a 2-hour trip or so. So I'm not sure mileage, maybe I can put that somewhere on the screen, but we got there, we still had half a battery, and they did have charging stations at that location as well. So we've never gotten stranded or felt anxious about not getting back home to charge up when we needed to. I know that's a big fear for a lot of people. It's not going to work for everyone the same way, but for us, we've never had problems with getting stranded or not having a chance to power up when we needed to. The thing about the charging stations, if you go ahead and invest in one of those, they do work for any electric car except for Teslas, from what I understand. So if you make that investment and then you end up getting a new car a couple years later, it should still work for whatever electric cars come out in the future. Bad news about the Chevy Bolt's batteries. They've been recalled because they've been catching on fire. It just is one of those things where something was not screwed on right in production and it has this risk of fire, so all those batteries are going to be replaced this year. We have a 5-year-old car and we're going to be getting a brand new battery for it because of that recall, which is pretty great. So if you are driving a Chevy Bolt right now or considering one, know that that new battery is going to be in there soon. One thing to bear in mind that if you live in a very cold region, that when you run heat in the winter, that does suck energy from your battery because that's how the whole thing is powered. So that's something to bear in mind. Your battery will drain faster if you're using the heat or the AC. My husband is a fan of cars. He loves shopping for cars and he appreciates details in cars and quality in cars. When we switched to the Chevy Bolt, it was a bit of an adjustment, but because it's electric and because of what it provides for our lifestyle, we were so happy to make the adjustment. But I will say, switching from Volvo quality to Chevy quality was definitely there. They're different companies and the quality is just not quite as nice. Things are just a little bit more chunky. In the Volvos we've had, the navigation has been outstanding, and in this car you have to use your phone navigation, and the USB port has been a little shaky and wobbly. It didn't really work when we got it, and now we've got it replaced, and it's just kind of a annoying thing that we have to deal with because it was cheaply made. I was trying to think of some pure cons to this car, and there's some, and the wipers are probably the top of the list. This button here was a nice little surprise. The steering wheel is heated, and it's a very peculiar feeling. I don't really care for it, but my husband loves it. I'm more of a glove person, so I don't get the benefit, but he really, really appreciated that. So that's one thing that Chevy has that was kind of cool that we weren't really used to with our other cars. An interesting aspect to this car is that there's two ways to actually brake. There's the brake pedal, which we are all used to, but then there's also a brake paddle, which is located on the steering wheel right near, right where my hand is. There's a little paddle behind it that you can pull. This actually acts as a recharge for the battery. Here is the charge that you're using, and that will go up when I pull on the pedal for braking. So I'm going to do it right now. Isn't that cool? A year and a half into driving this car, we love it. It's primarily the car that we both use. Although I do have my my station wagon. We don't run it that much. In fact, I make a point to run it, so just to keep it in good working order. It's really been one that we've both gotten a lot of enjoyment out of, and the best part is never having to stop at the gas station. What I'd like you to take away from this video is to know that driving electric cars isn't just for the rich people. It is affordable, it is doable, and it works really well in the average person's life. I mean, I consider myself pretty average. It was a big step, and we were kind of worried at first, like whether it would work for us, whether we'd actually be able to use it, whether we'd like it. And the answer to all those questions is yes. So that's why I wanted to make this video and share it with you. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them for you. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.